Hi, I'm John Thompson from Greensboro, North Carolina, and no one is paying me a dime to be here today. I just turned 60 this summer. I've been married for 37 years. I have 3 grown sons. And like a lot of those GOP folks up in Washington and over in our state capital of Raleigh, I'm pro-life, I'm an evangelical Christian, and for 28 years I voted Republican. Here in North Carolina, especially as you get a little older, the boss does not have to have a reason to fire you. And in 2013, that's exactly what they did. And when I lost my job, I also lost my health insurance. When my wife and I received the $2,000 a month COBRA bill in the mail, that's what it would have cost us out of pocket to keep our employer insurance. We just looked at each other and laughed. In the past, we would just suck it up and do without and pray to God in heaven that no one would get sick or be rushed to the emergency room or have to go under the surgeon's knife. Because if we did, we knew our goose was cooked. We'd be forever branded with a pre-existing condition. We'd never get insurance coverage again. It took me a year to find another job with health insurance. During the course of that year, the Tea Party nuts over in our state legislature slashed unemployment benefits by 50%. Also, during that very same year, I got cancer. But thank God for Obamacare. The marketplace had just launched. I signed us up immediately. The tax credit helped us to afford the premium. It was our lifeline during my year out of work. Without it, I would have been uninsurable for the rest of my days. No diagnostic test, no surgery, no rehab, no hope. I'm not a deadbeat or a freeloader. For 40 years, I've paid my taxes. I've worked to support my family. I've given to my church. I've contributed to my community. But in my hour of need, when my back was against the wall in the richest country in the history of the universe, where was the GOP for me? In fact, if it was up to those guys and they could have done to Obamacare then what they're getting ready to do to it now, shoot, I'd probably be lying dead in my grave somewhere today. But you know, for me, even today, this still remains a matter of life and death. Just a few weeks back, quite unexpectedly, I got some bad news. My cancer has returned. My future is uncertain, but one thing that is for sure is that while Obamacare once saved me, Trumpcare will now kill me. My congressman here in North Carolina District 13 is a Club for Growth stooge by the name of Ted Budd. Now, Ted's representative of our North Carolina GOP delegation. Doesn't matter whether their names are Burr or Tillis or Budd or Walker or Meadows or Fox. They're all peas from the same pot. Old Ted likes to pass himself off as just some good old boy chicken farmer from out in the country who runs a mom and pop gun store. But in reality, Ted's family owns a $94 million a year privately held company that makes its money on the backs of low-wage janitorial workers. Ted Budd is the 1%. So when it comes to the Budd family's health care, it doesn't make one iota of difference to them whether Obamacare is repealed. Because for Ted, his wife, and their 3 children, they've already reserved their seats on the health care lifeboat, while Ted throws the rest of us to the sharks. Now, Ted also claims to be a Bible-believing Christian. But he makes no bones about the fact that he's building his new political career on repealing the Affordable Care Act. And Ted Budd lies through his teeth about health care. Ted, tell the truth that 43,000 of your constituents here in District 13 get their health insurance through the marketplace. We have one of the highest Obamacare participation rate levels in the country. We're 27th out of 435 congressional districts. Ted, tell the truth that 93% of district participants qualify for the tax credit to help us to afford the premium. So when Blue Cross raises the price, Obamacare raises the credit, our out-of-pocket cost stays the same. Ted, tell the truth that 300,000 of us in the district with pre-existing conditions now have protections under Obamacare, where we never had it before, and will never have it again under Trumpcare. Ted, tell the truth that 1,200 North Carolinians, 95 right here in the district, possibly myself included, will needlessly die as a result of your support of Trumpcare. Ted, tell the truth. Back in January of 2017, when old Lion Ted was sworn in for his first term up there in Washington, his wife, Amy Kate, said that her husband would make a tremendous congressman because, and I'm quoting Amy Kate here, because he has a great moral compass and he cares about people. Well, imagine that. I mean, that's exactly what you would expect from a graduate of Dallas Theological Seminary and a self-proclaimed, born-again, Bible-believing follower of Jesus Christ. But you know, I'm sorry to tell you, Amy Kate, but old Ted must have been asleep during those seminary classes, because if his support of Trumpcare is any indication, your husband's moral compass is broke. Now, there's no evidence over the last 40 years that tax cuts on the wealthy and big business either grow the economy, pay for themselves, or trickle down to the rest of us. So when they get rid of Obamacare, replace it with Trumpcare, and pass their tax reform bill, now they're all intimately connected. They're giving big business in the top 1%, those elite million or so families way up at the top making $400,000 or more a year, they're giving them a massive $3.8 trillion tax cut. Do you have any idea how much money $3.8 trillion is? Well, with $3.8 trillion, we could pay off the entire annual budget deficit of the United States for each of the next 6 years. With $3.8 trillion, we could fund the comprehensive health care needs of every North Carolina resident for the next 34 years. With $3.8 trillion, we could pay for the complete 4-year cost of a college education over at University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill for every child born in the state of North Carolina for the next 62 years. We could do some great things here in North Carolina with $3.8 trillion. But you mean to tell me that Ted Budd and his GOP cronies up there in Washington want to give it all away to a bunch of rich folks? Here in America, we truly have become a nation of moochers. And thanks to congressmen like Ted Budd, the moochers are all at the top. So on the one hand, the Ted Budds of this country, while lining their own pockets, are giving away gazillions of dollars in tax cuts to a small group of fat cats at the top who don't deserve it and certainly don't need it, while on the other hand, they're kicking 22 million of us off our health insurance. They're putting 134 million of us with pre-existing conditions at great risk. They're killing 48,000 innocent American men, women, boys, and girls. And they're loading the backs of our kids and our grandkids with $6 trillion worth of unpaid debt. Hey, Ted, that's some amazing moral compass you got there. Tell the truth and explain to us, your constituents, how this is going to make America great again.